Good afternoon, everyone. It's 3:30 UK time, and we're about an hour into the US session. I think you all have worked out from your own portfolios. Yesterday was a very bad day for those that have bought shares. The sell-off wasn't unexpected, and markets were in a mega overbought situation that I've been reporting upon for quite a long time, and it's not uncommon for a change in direction to occur just after the FOMC meeting, and I think Mr. Powell caused the market to wake up when he stated categorically that he would keep rates on at pretty much zero until about 2023, and that woke the market up, I think. Plus there was also some talk about the virus in fact getting much worse in the southern US states. So this afternoon markets have bounced considerably. They're a little bit off. They were up Dow was up 700 points a moment ago. It's up 575 points at the moment. The primary wave on VectorVest is down, and yesterday we printed a red light, and the underlying trend is up. The DEW that I've been using for my campaign is still up, but hanging in there by the skin on its teeth, and of course we're still in a confirmed up. So if I have a look now at the VectorVest composite, and that's the VectorVest composite, as you can see, this mega overbought situation has come off a little bit, but both on the composite and on the S&P, a very important level, ladies and gentlemen, at 3,000 on the S&P. So if you were to see the S&P break down below 3,000, then I think that is going to be quite a strong move. And today I think that you should sit back, folks. We're in this bounce. With any luck, your stocks have gone up a little bit, but analyze your stocks and make sure that you've a game plan for each. Draw a line in the sand for every share that you're holding, and by doing that exercise, that'll remove you from all the emotions out there as the little bar moves up and down. So I think that below 3,000, don't be scared to in fact lighten a little bit. What I always do in this situation is that I look at my portfolio and I look at the laggards on the way up, and I think it's always a good idea to actually raise some cash in those laggards. Those shares that haven't performed on the way up, they're certainly not going to do much on the way down. So very important level. It wouldn't at all surprise to see me this market push up a little bit, and at the same time the MTI not respond, and that would be a divergent situation, the same sort of situation as we had here as the price pushed up into February, but the MTI and the buy-sell ratio couldn't come to the party. That's invariably a very strong top. Let me put in the DEW signals. Those are the DEW signals that I've been following in this campaign, and I've been long of stocks in the US and the UK since about the first week of April, and I've reported on those quite a few times in here. That DEW still hasn't given a sell signal, but those of you that are swing traders, if you do get that sell signal from the DEW, as I've said on numerous occasions, that signal needs to be taken very seriously, because the signal is being preceded by this mega overbought situation, in the same way as this signal up was preceded by this mega oversold situation. So and we could quite easily have a pullback here, folks. Even under the most optimistic circumstances, a pullback to down around this area, which would be 2,500, 2,600 odd on the S&P. That's the most optimistic scenario. Clearly, more pessimistic scenario would be an escalation of virus concerns, and that without a doubt would push a test of the March lows, and that wouldn't be pleasant at all. So being successful in this business is all about being able to keep your head in days like this. And my advice is to look at your portfolio, as I've said already, and calculate a line in the sand that you're going to take action on. I've already stopped out of several of my positions in the US market. Let's see if I can find them for us. If I go to views, there they are. Lulu still in, Dollar General, AMD, I'm still hanging in there, Microsoft and TTD. I have stops in the system for these, and those stops are well above my entry point in all of those shares, so I'm still reasonably happy with those. Nevertheless, I will cut them quite quickly. There was some news out of Lulu earlier that wasn't all that good, I believe, although I haven't had time to read it in any form of detail. Now in the UK, situation pretty much the same. This is last night's close, and we've had 2 days of the primary wave down. We've got a red light, and again the DEW sell signal hasn't quite fired as yet. I've got rid of a couple of positions in the UK. Again, I did that because those were laggards on the way up. I got rid of Berkeley, the builder, because it hadn't performed for me at all on the way up, but I'm still pretty pleased with the rest of them, so I'm still holding on to Lion Trust, JD Sports, Games Workshop, Avon Rubber, BH Macro, the only one that actually rose yesterday, Diploma, Howden, GB Group, Cranswick and Halma. If the DEW turns down, then I shall certainly be lightening or getting rid of quite a few of those, and if they should hit their stop loss, then I will be getting rid of them as well. So folks, the money's made in this type of an environment. If you see the S&P breaking down 3,000, below 3,000, then our market will follow straight away, and I think that you should in fact lighten those positions considerably. That hasn't happened as yet, and I'm got a intraday chart of the S&P 500 here. That's the sell-off yesterday. This is a 5-minute chart, and market, that's the bounce up, and that happened in Europe. And these brown lines are the first 30 minutes high and low, and there's an old thing on the floor that the first 30-minute range prints the high of the day or the low of the day 80% of the time. Floor traders believe that, and market in fact selling off quite nicely from the low of that first 30-minute range. So this gap that we had this morning, this nice opening gap to the upside, is being filled. So I assure you that although we've had a gap up today, the pressure is not off, and your objective is to sit down calmly, keep your head, and to draw a line in the sand for all of the shares that you're holding, and to in fact act upon that, to remove yourself from the emotion of these little bars moving up and down. Nobody knows what's going to happen next, folks, but the one thing that you can do is that you can decide on exactly when you want to leave the party. So I'll be back on Monday afternoon in the UK Q&A at 1:30 UK time. We'll discuss all this in a great detail. So primary wave down both sides of the Atlantic. Certainly no buying opportunities this afternoon. The objective of this little talk was to try and get you to focus on the shares that you've got, and to make sure that you've got stop losses in place, and to emphasize that it's incredibly important that you act upon those. I hope you found this help. Thank you.